So. Okay, so I feel like my legs are tingling, my toes are tingling, everything's just tingling. I just feel like, woo, like all my whole body just let go for a split second. Like it's just like a release of some sort, just wild. So some of the things, that he had said to me, some of the things that he had said to me are that it's like a wave that just came over him. So then he puts sunshine, which is my sign symbol for like we don't expect that to happen. So sunshine appears. We don't expect it to happen. Really affected his oxygen, his ability to breathe. Can't tell if I'm not catching my breath or what the hell's happening. Something about his inability to breathe / communicate. Potentially ingest, but I don't think so. It's just a very sensational experience, not necessarily painful. He says you have a piece of him to honor his memory. When I asked him his relationship to you, he sent you a heart. Significant other, or it was your father and your daddy's girl, and then it came over suddenly. We didn't expect to happen when it did. It was like a wave that came over us. Does this make sense? The fan noise in the background when I put my hand under my speaker, it makes it sound like it was your boyfriend fiance. That was definitely a vibe he was giving me. I love this. What ended up happening? Makes sense why he wrote the ring too and says he has a piece of me. What ended up happening? Hopefully the fan noise isn't too much for you guys. Maybe if I adjust this thing. I don't know how that looks. I'll adjust the fan noise for the next time. Maybe I'll put some white noise in my ear, but I don't want y'all to be like, oh, she's just listening to readings and someone's on the back burner. Bitches, if I was doing that, Brittany would be the one doing it, and she ain't. She's over there going, it sounds like the ocean, like a seashell. Right? That's how I feel. Let me just throw that in the middle of your reading real quick. All right, how did this person end up passing? I should take partial responsibility. But then he goes like this, and then he gives me the words, it's just a matter of time. I don't know why he says that to me. And then I look up. I'm like, he says I should take partial responsibility, but it was just a matter of time. And she said that he self-unalived. And it was a wave that came over him, and it was really hard to breathe, and he didn't expect it to happen. It wasn't this long plan. She left a piece of you. It was really sudden. So many times, 11:11 I think I just drew. And so many times, and it was inevitable. So you were basically getting him through all of his emotional struggles, and he didn't see it happening when he did. And then there's maybe a consumption or a lack of oxygen, and the experience wasn't painful. It was sensational. It came over him all at once. You still have a piece of him. Takes partial responsibility, but it was inevitable or an amount of time. This means that this happens lots. This means that this is something he's struggled with, essentially. Self-unaliving by a weapon. It was a quick decision. I'm not going to say it wasn't a repeating thought, but it was a quick decision. Quick decision. We didn't expect it to happen that way. It was a response to something. It was like, well, now's the time. Now's the time. Yes, it was split-second decisions, she says. You weren't there. Don't tell me you were there. Stop it. I'm like clutching. I am clutching right now. I'm like, he just tells me, I yell at him, and I'm like, how could you go out like that and not have a hard time crossing over? And I'm like, no. So if someone yells that in the background, that means that he did it in a not courteous place. I wasn't there, but talked to him right before. Did you know he was about to do this when you talked to him? Or did everything seem fine? It was our apartment. I knew he was going to do it. Ooh, and I was like, how in the heck did you get to cross over when you did it in an uncourteous place, like middle of the fucking living room type of crap, like, nothing easy. Oh my gosh, but I couldn't stop him, and then you're taking responsibility, and honestly, what a fucking coward move to have you on the phone making sure you do it by the time you come home. 100% it was in the living room, she said. Look it. She said it was in the living room. He owns up to it. Takes responsibility. He didn't have a hard time crossing over. I'm like, how the heck? How the heck can you tell me that you didn't have a hard time when you just did that in a living room in a non-courteous place? And she's like, yeah, it was. Like, I don't know. He must have just always struggled. You were dealing with and loving someone who was inevitably going to struggle, who inevitably was going to do this without helping themselves. Your attention to them was a drip in the arm. That's how I feel. He's absolutely at peace on the other side.